Hello friends and welcome. Today is Saturday. It is May 14th and it is a beautiful Saturday morning. Well, just barely Saturday morning. It's about 11:45 right now. I'm doing this a bit later because I had planned today to do a video from the Little Lehigh River, and I got out there this morning. It turns out the Little Lehigh River is about 3 minutes away from the hospital that I go to, and I had an appointment at the hospital this morning. And I thought, well, this is ideal. It's a beautiful day, so I packed up all my camera equipment, got out there to set up, and realized that I did not have the memory card for the camera. So I couldn't use the regular equipment. I did have my cell phone with me, and I did a bit of recording that I hope I'll be able to patch in here. So let me try and do that now, and when I get back to you, we'll take care of the housekeeping and whatnot, and I'll give you some updates on what's going on. Hello, friends. Doing a bit of an unusual video today. I'm out here at the park around the Little Lehigh River in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and this is a great fishing spot. Little Lehigh River it's just downstream of the fish hatchery, and it is stocked, but it does support trout year-round, and you know, it's a good place to fish right in the middle of the city. It's really one of these remarkable streams. Gets a lot of press, gets a lot of pressure, and because of that, it's not one of my favorite places to fish. I like the small, quiet streams that not many people know about, but I do come here fairly often. Now, I'm making this video on my cell phone. I brought the regular camera. This was kind of a last-minute decision to come out here. It was supposed to rain this morning, but it's turning out to be a really beautiful day. But unfortunately, I got all the way out here without the memory card for the camera, so that doesn't work very well. I mean, you can still run it, you just don't save anything, and then you're just talking to yourself. So at any rate, I'm going to do a brief hello here, and I'll show you a little bit of the surrounding scenery, a little bit of the view that I've got, and then when I get back home, I'll probably make a bit more to add on to this video, so I'll be able to give you an update on the giveaway, which is officially ended at this point, and I'll also be able to talk a little bit about what I'm smoking, which, just for politeness sake, this is Lane 125th anniversary, which I received in that mega bomb that Benjamin Mitchell dropped on me, and it's an interesting blend, so I'm looking forward to talking to you about that. And I have that in my Lane Crown Achievement pipe. So I will show you around here a bit, and I will be back soon once I get back home and can make this video in a bit more comfort with both of my hands available. So take care, talk soon. Okay, hopefully that worked and you enjoyed some of the scenery. It was a really nice day. I wish I could have done the whole video from there, but it just didn't pan out that way. So today I am smoking the Stubby Gentleman again, and I am enjoying some the same that I was smoking at Little Lehigh. This Lane 125th anniversary that Benjamin Mitchell was nice enough to send to me, and I'll talk a bit about this. It's really an interesting blend. And so when I first opened this, if you saw the GAW video that I made on Ben's contest giveaway, when I opened this jar up, I had read about 125th anniversary, but not extensively. And I knew that it was a Virginia. I had forgotten that it was a vapor, so it's a Virginia Perique blend. And when I first smelled it, it smelled like Virginias, and it certainly looks like Virginia. I'm going to spread it around here like confetti. So it's a ribbon cut, lots of bright Virginia. There's a little bit of dark leaf in there that I had thought might have been some red Virginia. It doesn't really have much of a fermented smell to it. And I looked it up and researched it a bit. I haven't really read a lot of reviews or anything. I haven't seen any YouTube videos on it because I haven't looked for them. I'm sure they're out there. And it turns out this is predominantly a bright Virginia. and it does contain perique. Now, I cannot detect any perique. I don't get a perique smell from this at all. And the fact is, the flavor is very, very light. When I shake up the jar and I really get my nose in there, I can smell what I believe is a topping. In fact, I'm convinced is a topping. It's a light topping. The smell that I get is very reminiscent of apricot. So I do think this has an apricot topping to it. The flavor that comes across in the bowl, as usual for me, and only talking about my palate, is not apricot. There's a subtle sweetness that's coming from the topping. There's also a bit of those chemical overtones that I am very sensitive to. So don't take my word on any top tobaccos. I don't typically like them because I taste the chemicals more than I taste the actual flavorings. But this is not bad. It's not overpowering. It's not anything that detracts from the tobacco. And that little bit of sweetness actually, I think, adds something in this case. Now, Lane is an interesting company, and some people don't like Lane. Some people think of them as, this manufacturer of aromatic tobaccos and all that, but they've actually got a very broad catalog. And there are Lane, some of the tobaccos that I just cannot smoke, that I find absolutely unsmokable. And I won't mention them by name, but they're Lane products. And it turns out that the two that I'm thinking of right now that I would not smoke, if there were no other tobaccos left, I would not smoke these two blends because they're just that bad to me. They turn out to be two of the most popular tobaccos sold in the United States. So obviously I am in a small subgroup of smokers who just don't particularly enjoy that type of tobacco, but there's plenty of people out there that do. Or there might be one person that's just smoking a heck of a lot of it. And Scott, it might be you, so if it's you, please do fess up. Sorry, Scott. The funny thing, though, is that the same company that makes these two blends that I wouldn't smoke if they were the last tobaccos on the planet also makes some of my favorites. So I really enjoy Crown Achievement, which is a Lane product. I think it's a very good blend. It needs a little bit of age for it to really come into its own, but it's a really nice Latakia blend with some perique in it that I really enjoy it. Also, some of the things like Bengal Slices and Warhorse from Standard Tobacco, as well as the John Cotton blends, they're not originally blended by Lane, but they are. They weren't developed by Lane, but they're blended at Lane and packaged, and they're fine products. So Lane's a very good company that puts out a lot of good stuff. So it's this sort of broad range, and I would say that this 125th anniversary, for me, falls right smack in the middle of that range. It's not bad. There's nothing about it that makes me want to throw this away or give it away. It's an enjoyable tobacco. It's mild. It smokes easily. It stays lit when I'm not talking more than smoking. It burns well. It burns clean all the way down. No issues with dottle at all. The flavors are very, very much a light Virginia. Now, I'm not a big fan of light Virginias. They tend to be tangy, very citrusy, and I definitely get that from this. They also tend to bite me a little bit if I'm not careful, and that is, I think, a very personal thing. Some people get bit by Virginias, and I'm one of those. So I have to smoke it carefully. Sorry, I'm looking for a tamper here. The perique is almost impossible for me to detect. Occasionally I'll get a little pop of like a figgy raisin flavor. I don't get any spiciness from this. A lot of perique blends on the retrohale, I'll get like some of that sort of wasabi burn in my nasal passages. I get none of that from this. It's just a very smooth Virginia, as far as I can tell. I'm just not really detecting much perique at all. If it wasn't for that occasional fig raisin flavor that pops in, and not very often at all, I would say that this is a lightly topped Virginia. It's a good smoke for a drive, yard work kind of thing, stuff like that. I guess it would be fine for. If you like Virginias and you like a mild sort of mindless smoke it's not going to change much during the bowl, you might want to give this a shot. It's not bad. It's just not a flavor profile that I enjoy. But I will definitely smoke it, and it's a nice light. If you're not in the mood for a heavy burley, if you're not in the mood for a lot of Kia, this is a nice change of pace. When I go for a vapor, I want the Perique in a vapor. I think that's the only reason to really smoke them, because I'm not a big Virginia fan. And one of my favorites is Cornell & Deal's Bayou Morning. I think that's really an excellent Perique blend. I actually don't know if that's a Burley or Virginia now that I'm talking about it. I think it may have Burley and Virginia. But I like that blend a lot. And what this is missing, in my opinion, is those deep earthy tones that I get out of a lot of tobaccos. And they come usually from the Red Virginias, the addition of things like Dark Fired Kentucky, or from Burley. The Bright Virginias don't typically, for me at least, carry those deep earthy tones that I enjoy. So I think that's the main reason that this is not very high on my list. It's got mostly the Bright Virginia, and it just isn't sinking low enough on that scale for me. It's all high notes. But it's not bad. So I probably won't be buying more of it. I really appreciate Ben giving me the chance to try it, and I will smoke it. But it's not something I'm going to stock up on. I recommend, if it sounds like something you might like, if you're into the lighter Virginias and you don't like a heavy Perique, this might be something that you'd really enjoy. So I'm not saying don't try it. I'm just saying that if your palate is similar to mine, you might want to try a small sample and see what you think of it. And if any of you guys have had it, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the blend as well. And again, Lane, I give them a lot of credit for a lot of the stuff they do. If I was to make a top 10 list, which I won't do because it changes too frequently, but if I was to make a top 10 list, I would think that probably 2 or 3 of the blends would be Lane products, and the balance of those would be almost entirely Cornell & Deal. So, that's, in my opinion, fairly high praise for Lane, that I put some of their blends at the same level that I put some of the Cornell & Deal blends, because I think Cornell & Deal is making some of the best tobaccos available today. So I'm smoking in the Stubby Gentleman today, because I wanted to give you some updates on that, and let you know that I've been doing some research, well, not research, I've been doing some development. I have decided I'm going to do a run of about 10 of these, and what I'll probably do with those is I'm going to create an Etsy store, which is something I've been thinking about doing for my restored pipes. eBay is great, but I don't want to turn this channel into anything that's even remotely commercial, but I do occasionally restore a pipe and put it up on eBay. And the last one, the one that I'm working on right now, the Mr. Roberts, which will be finished on Wednesday, I've gotten some requests about that pipe, and I feel bad telling you guys to go look at eBay because there's bidding and everything else, and I'd really rather not have my viewers here get caught into some kind of a bidding war and have to pay a higher price than they think is fair for something. I also don't want to turn this into a big advertisement for things I'm selling, because that's not why I do this. I do this because I enjoy talking to you, I enjoy talking about the tobaccos, and I enjoy showing you the process so that you guys can get into it yourself. And I'm really pleased. Bama Guitar Dude has just posted his first restoration video, and he got interested in this in part from seeing some of my videos. He's asked me for some advice, and I'm really glad to see other people getting into this hobby. That's why I do this, not to sell pipes, because the only reason I sell pipes is to make back some money so I can buy more pipes to restore. It's just a way of supporting the hobby. I don't want anything else out of it. So I'm going to set up this Etsy store because there's been enough interest in these guys, and I don't want these on eBay, because then who knows what the price is going to wind up being. I've ordered some parts. I had to order stem material. I obviously have to order the Country Gentleman, and I think that and the labor and everything, I'm going to have to price these at about $35 each. And that's what I'll do. I'll get them up on the store. Probably will be 3 or 4 weeks before I can get the 10 done, and I'll put them all up at once. I will then contact all the people that have requested to be contacted when they're up, and after I let them all know, I'll post a video that also lets you know about that. So if you're interested in getting one of these, they will be available. And I'm pricing them as inexpensively as I can to still make sense of the time and the investment that I have to make in making these. And in the future, as I have pipes that I restore and put up there, I may mention that, or I'm not going to put a lot of links or anything. I'll probably put a link on the About page. You can check that from time to time if you want. Again, I don't want this to turn into a commercial for anything. If you think that's a bad idea, please let me know, either through a comment or through a personal message. I would really appreciate the feedback, because I want to try to keep this something that's enjoyable for everyone, and I don't want to turn it into anything that's offensive to anyone. So please let me know if you disagree with that approach, and I will really seriously consider your feedback on that. Other things that are going on, the giveaway has officially ended at midnight last night, EST. I will do the drawing tomorrow evening. I hope you don't mind the delay, but that just makes the most sense. So I'll do a drawing out of a hat, literally out of a hat. And we got the 3 levels of prizes that I've discussed ad nauseum, so I won't go through that here. I will link to the playlist one last time in this video. If you've entered, please check that playlist. Make sure your entry is represented. And we'll have the drawing tomorrow night. If entries come in, within a reasonable time between now and tomorrow night, I'll try to include them. I don't want to exclude anyone that might be just running a bit late, so you still have a little bit of time if you want to get an entry in. I think we have 5 now, which is good. It's enough that I don't feel so bad about only having 3 prizes. I felt bad when it was just 4, because then there would just be one poor guy left in the hat. So now you at least have a friend in the hat when you don't get drawn. So you can look for that video posting sometime tomorrow evening. And I'm really looking forward to tying this up. It's been a lot of fun seeing your responses. I thought they were great, extremely thoughtful, and really just blown away by some of the thought and personal nature of some of these entries. It was great to see that and to hear it. Beyond that, we've got the Mr. Roberts will be finishing up on Wednesday. And I'm not sure what's ahead from that. I don't have anything prepared yet, but we'll see how it goes. I do have some projects I'm finishing up, including these, so it might take some time away from doing restoration videos. We'll see. I'll try to keep some content coming, though. So I like to post at least 2 videos a week. And just to show you, and I should update you on this a bit, because the design is changing a little bit as I research these more and try to come up with the best way to make them. And one thing that I found with this is that it smokes a little bit hot, just a little bit more than I'd like it to. You have to be careful with it. So to address that, I've modified the shank just a tiny bit. So it's about a 1/4 inch longer than it was previously, and the draft hole is a little bit more narrow, just slightly. I mean, we're only talking about 1/8 inch changes here. But it does, I believe it will improve the smoking quality a bit. So it's, a barely detectable change. The overall shank length is just going to be about an 1/8 inch longer, and I'm sorry, a 1/4 inch longer. And the diameter is going to be an 1/8 inch less diameter. I don't think you'll notice that. I'm also using an actual stem blank rather than a pen turning blank, which means I can keep the diameter across here consistent, and that lets me take out this little step down piece here. And I think that's important because the end of this is actually quite narrow and sharp, and I'm afraid that over time it's going to chip and just not be very attractive. So that will allow me to keep this consistent diameter. I will still include a contrast band there, just to add that sort of color breakup between the dark walnut and Delrin and the darker red stem, but I don't think it's going to detract that much from the flow of the pipe. Anyway, if you have thoughts on that, let me know. You can see I've had to play around with the different methods of putting these holes in, which makes this pipe not very smokable. but I wanted to find a way that I could inset this shank without doing a lot of chip out around here. That just means that there'd be less filling to do, and I can deal better with this issue I had with the bleeding of the stain into the walnut. So I've got that worked out now. I've built a jig that'll let me do that without too much difficulty. This cob is probably never going to be smoked. Don't think I can patch those holes. Anyway, it's coming along nicely. I'll keep you updated as the run of 10 gets done, and hopefully I'll be able to get those up for the folks that want them in a few weeks' time. So I appreciate your patience with that, and I also appreciate your interest. Well, with that, I'm going to tie this up with the footage that I'm patching in. This is probably going a lot longer than it should, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing some of the outdoor scenes. And I got a little bit more video that I'll add in here at the end, so enjoy that. And with that, I will say goodbye. Have yourself a great week, and I will very much look forward to talking to you all again soon. Goodbye now. So this is the Little Lehigh River. It's a fairly quiet stretch of it. You can see they put in some structures over there to sort of provide improved trout habitat. If you go upstream from here, I think about a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile, that's where the fish hatchery is. And then downstream, great fishing for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 miles. And we've got a crow over there. I don't know if you can see him. I can sure hear him. So it's a beautiful day. Oh, there we go. It is a really beautiful day here. Quite calm water. I'm dying to be fishing, but just isn't in the cards for today. There goes our little friend. Some people out hiking and quite a few people fishing, joggers. The neat thing about this stream is that it does run right through through this park. So, you know, people are walking up and down here constantly, and you see people fly fishing just a few feet away, and it affects the fishing to some extent. I mean, the fish can be spooky, although a lot of these are stockies. There's a lot of rainbows, which don't tend to be as spooky as brown trout. The other place I really like to fish in this area, well, not directly in this area, but about equidistant to where I live, is Valley Creek, which runs through Valley Forge, the famous Valley Forge Park where the Battle of Valley Forge was fought. And that's a really interesting place to fish because it's wild brown trout. It's not stocked, and boy, they can be spooky. And when people are just walking up and down all day long, it can be very difficult, very technical fishing. So it's a lot of fun. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little look at nature, and maybe I'll get some more video as I walk back to the car, and we'll be back to you as soon as I get back to my shop. Take care now.